Okay, room 14, 16, and 17. This is a little slideshow for week 3. Our essential question is, how can something old become new? And the stories that you're going to read with Mrs. Robertson is discussing this. You're reading and comparing selections about states of matter and their properties to analyze how matter can change, how weathering can change them over time. The genre of how Mount Rushmore was made, I believe she read that today, Monday, is informational social studies. This genre gives readers facts about a topic. That's very specific. I might just, if we were in the classroom, I might just call it informational reading. What she's guiding you through is truth, it's nonfiction, and a term that is used is informational reading. The purpose, why did the author write this? For how Mount Rushmore was made. The author's purpose for writing that story is to present the story behind the sculpting of Mount Rushmore. How did they make those huge faces in the rocks? That's the purpose. It's an education. Some vocabulary from the story. And this is in your pamphlet in the spelling video that we put out on Monday. Find the vocabulary section, and there's some sentences to fix up with the correct word. The first word is attraction. Attraction is an interesting and enjoyable place that people want to visit, see, or do. So that could be a building, a monument like Mount Rushmore, Disneyland, any place that people want to go. That's an attraction. Government officials, people who have positions of authority in government. So maybe in your classroom you've discussed the House and the Senate in Congress, and there they are sitting there making rules, and they're people elected by American citizens, and they have authority in government. They're called the officials. So when they say government officials, we're talking about people. Mountain. You probably know what that is, but they've written something out here, an official definition. A mountain is an area of land that rises very high above the land around it, that's higher than a hill. So a hill rises higher than the land around it, but a mountain would be much higher than a hill. Sculpture. A sculpture is a piece of art that it is made by carving or molding clay, stone, metal. Anything that's carved or formed would be a sculpture. Magma. Magma is a hot liquid below the surface of the earth. Jagged. Jagged means having sharp or uneven surface or edges. So when they were making Mount Rushmore, they didn't make the mountain, but when they were making the carvings, I'm sure there were some jagged mountains, and they used dynamite and to chip away some of the jaggedy pieces, and also a lot of filing. These are your spelling words. This week in spelling, you're looking at suffixes. So the root word here is care, and putting full on there means that something is full of care. Colorful, full of color. Fearless. This does not mean less fear. Well, you could say fearless could mean less fear, but less means without. So without fear. Helpful, full of help. Painless, without pain. Priceless. Price would be the root word, priceless. In this situation, when you would use the word priceless, it would mean you can't put a price on it. If you had a pair of shoes or a new purse or a loaf of bread, all of those things have a price that you could buy them. with money, but something that is priceless, there's no amount of money that you would take for that. Speechless, without speech. This is when someone is so surprised they can't even talk. Their speech left them temporarily in their surprise. Spoonful, a spoon filled. That's an amount. Spotless, without spots. No spots. That would include, you might use this even just if something was dirty or not, even just dirt smudges. You would say that it's dirty, it's not spotless. I want it to be spotless. Useful, filled with use. Something can be useful, meaning it will be used, it can be used, it won't just lay there, it's useful. Okay, these are called high frequency words. This is not spelling. We don't want you to spell these. We just want you to say them. So I'll go through them once, and then I'll go back, and you can try to beat me and read them as I go through the slides. So clear, dark, explain, force, minutes, object, plane, power, produce, surface, and that's the next slide, but I'm going to go back to the beginning and go through these again, and I'll be quiet and you read through them. One more time. I'll try to go quicker. See if you can read them as fast as I can turn the slide. And that's it. And the last two slides, this is using a dictionary. You probably don't have that at home, boys and girls. And something that I like to use is dictionary.com. If you have a computer or a smartphone, anything that you don't know the meaning of, or you want to know the spelling, maybe you think you know how to spell it, but you might be a letter or two off, look on dictionary.com and that will guide you. And then one more. This one is about commas. I'll have more to say about this tomorrow, but at the bottom here is a letter, and when you're writing a friendly letter, you put a comma right here, it's in red, after the introduction, and then down here at the bottom, when you're signing off, you put a comma right there. This part right here, let me see if I can highlight it. There we go, where I put a little blue shade on your friend. That could say, sincerely, signing off, see you tomorrow. There are many ways to close a letter, but you put a comma after it, and then the name usually, generally, would go at the very bottom. But up here, this is going to be the same in every friendly letter. You can have a different closing, but the comma goes after, and then at the beginning, your comma is going to always go after the introduction. And that's it. That's Tuesday.